So in base 5, we're never going to see a 5. So when I add 3 and get 6, I can't really write 6. Instead, what do I do? Yeah, I carry away a 1 to the next column. And what does that 1 represent?
5.
It represents 5. Yeah, because in the base 5 system, any of your carrying is 5. And now think about our system, right? If I add 8 and 4 and get 12, I carry 1, 2, and what does that 1 represent? It represents 10 because that's in the base 10 system. See how it's the same thing? So whatever your base amount, that's the amount you're carrying, or in a minute when we subtract, borrowing. Same thing. Because the next column over is always, in base 10 anyway, 10 times as big, isn't it? So when you borrow or carry to the next column, everything is worth 10 times as much as it is in the current column you're in. That even goes when you go from the second to the third. Like think about if I had, 4, 2, and 6, 3. No, I got to make it bigger. 6, 6. Wait, I make these bigger. 5, 7. Okay, if I was to add 5 and 7 here, really that's 50 and 70, isn't it? Which is really 120. That's why I carry a 1 here, because what does that 1 represent? 100. 10 tens, in other words. 10 of the middle column. I don't know if I'm probably making it more confusing when I say it that way. All right, let's go back. Let's stick with the basics, and that'll make more sense as we go. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to add 3 and 3. So again, I'm just going to draw the little blocks. This is 3 individuals. So that makes 6, but I can't do 6. Instead, I'm going to carry 1. Carry 1 what? 1 rod. Remember what they are in this column? They're rods of length 5, since this is base 5. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this 3 here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what they are. And then the next one, remember what the things are in the next column over? So these are called units, rods is the terminology used. And what are they in this column? How am I going to remember? It's the 1's place, 5's place, 25. So every single, like both these two must represent 25, and all those 4 must represent 25. How do you represent one thing as 25? It's a 5 by 5 array. They call that a flat. 5 by 5 array, if I ever bring those things. So 5 by 5 array, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, that was too many. 4 lines makes 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then 2. This is tedious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there we go. So there's what we're really dealing with, right? We're really adding 4 flats and 2 flats, 2 rods and 3 rods, 3 units and 3 units. That's what's really going on. So when I add the 3 and the 3, they make 6. But what is 6? I'll show the carrying with a different color here. So it's the 6 is a rod like that and 1 left over. You see that is 6? That's the 1 I'm carrying. It's 1 rod, isn't it, in base 5? Because these 5 became that rod, and this 1 extra went down there. Is that making sense? See what I'm doing? I'm not losing anything, huh? This isn't magic or anything. I'm not, suddenly there appears new ones or disappears. They're all there, right? They're just moving around. So 5 individuals, that's 1 rod, and that 1 extra comes down. Okay, now we're talking rods. So what am I going to do in the middle column? How many rods do I have to make a flat? Yeah, so I could just grab these 5, and they all will turn into an extra flat. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Won't they? In other words, and 1, this extra will come down. That's just a mess now. But are you tracking with me? Let me go back to the numbers. In other words, 3 and 3 make 6, but you can't have 6. It's carry away 5, leave 1. And then these make 6. 3 and 2 is 6. Again, 6 can't have 6. 1 carry 1, right? So that was the 1, and then the 3 and the 2 carried to that flat, didn't they? Tracking with me? And this 1 extra came on down to be the extra. Now, what about the next column? Same thing. Just do the next same thing. 4 and 1 and 2, what's that, 7? 7, but you can't write 7. Instead, you carry away 5, have 2 left over. If you carry away 5 from the 7, you have 2 left over, and the last 1 you just bring on down. There it is, 1, 2, 1, 1, base 5 is the answer. How are we doing? So in base 5, anytime you carry or borrow, you're carrying or borrowing 5. And you can see why from the pictures, right? Because 5 units makes 1 rod, 5 rods makes 1 flat, etc. 5 in any one column makes one of the things in the next column. That's why base 10 blocks, if I ever bring them, are so great for kids to get their hands on, because they actually see what those numbers mean in the next column. Good on that? I should write myself a note and then I'll bring them. All right, so let's try one. How about, let me make one up for you. Let's try it. So let's do 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, base 4, right? Base 4, you're never going to see a 4. So there's no 4 there. So go ahead and try that one. You don't have to draw the pictures. I was just doing that to help. Just see if you, I mean, if they help you, go ahead. But see if you can just do that one. 3 and 3 is 6. But we can't do that in base 4. Base 4, you're never going to see a 4 or bigger. So you carry away 4. That represents 4, right? So that leaves how many left over? 2. We good? That took away 4 from the 6. All right, next column is not working. There we go. That adds up to be 4 exactly. I can write 4, but not really. In base 4, you're never going to see a 4. Yeah. So cross that out. Carry away 4. How many does that leave extra? 0. None. Yeah. Good. Y'all get that? And then this one is, what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Can't do that. Carry away 4. Leaves 2 extra. Bring down that 1. 1, 202. Base 4. We good? Yes. On that? So that's adding. Let's see what else we got. So that's just adding base 6, 7. We could add in base 12, I guess. All right, we can do that one. 7, 8, 6, 2, 8, 5. So number 3 is 7, 8, 6, 2, 8, 5, base 12. Let's try to add in base 12. So when you carry in base 12, how much are you going to carry? You're going to carry 12, huh? Yeah. Okay, so 6 and 5 is 11. Do I carry that? Can I write 11? Not that way, but I do write 11. How do I write it? Yeah, I put in E, right? Because in base 12, same rule. In base 12, you're never going to see a 12 or more in one spot, but you will see an 11, huh? All right, so nothing to carry there. Nothing to carry. Keep going. 8 and 8 is 16. Can't do that. So I need to carry. When I carry, that carries 12. So how many are left over? 4, huh? And then this is 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can't write 10, though. I don't carry, right? I don't carry. I just write T. T4E. Base 12. T4E. Good? Is that making sense? All right, good. Let's see. So that's number 3, adding, subtracting. So there's just more. Yeah, let's go to subtracting. We haven't done subtracting. So let's do that. I'm just going to make up some subtraction problems. Okay. So how about, let's see. I want us to have to borrow. So how about 7, 2, 3, subtract 2, 5, 6 in base 8. Yeah. All right, so let's try this one.
Okay, I think I'm fine. Thank you.
So we want to subtract in base 8. Now, where do you start with subtraction? Always on the right, huh? We always start on the right side because that's the lowest place value. That's why I don't know if you were told that was just some rule, but there's actually a logical reason for that. That's the lowest place value, and because you want to be able to borrow from the higher places as you need it. So here we go. Subtract 6 from 3. Well, you can't. You can't take 6 from 3. So what do? You borrow. Now, how does borrowing work? You go here and you borrow, like borrowing from a friend. You take 1 from that, right? So I took 1 from him. And what does that do? Now, normally, you'll teach kids in base 10, they just stick a 1 there, huh? But that's not going to work in base 8. Yeah. Because in base 10, whenever you borrow, you're borrowing how much? You're borrowing 10, right? Because every next column is worth 10 times as much. So if you take 1 from the next column and bring it over, it's worth 10 of whatever you have in this column. So when I take, this is actually the number, in base 10 anyway, this would be the number 20, wouldn't it? So when I lower it to 10, I took 10 from it. If this was base 10, it's not. That would make this 13, right? That's what happens in base 10. I really just took 10 from this guy and brought the 10 over to the 3, so he became 13. That's in base 10. But we're not in base 10. We're in base 8. So how much, when I take 1 from him and I bring it to the next column, how much am I bringing? I'm bringing 8. Yeah, so I'm adding 8, so he'll become 11. Won't he? Does that make sense? Because, I don't know if I want to draw the pictures again, but this... You guys are probably thinking, no, Mr. Aaron, don't draw the pictures. So there's 2. I'll draw one quick picture. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because these are 2 rods, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 2 rods of length 8. That's what they are. And so when I take 1 away and I bring it over here, I'm really bringing 8. I'm bringing a whole rod, aren't I? So then we can do it. Then it's 11 minus 6. It's just normal. Just 5, right? Okay, can I do the next column now? Can I do 5, subtract from 1? No. Got to borrow. So I go to the 7, make it 6. Bring how much? Bring 8 to the 1. 8 plus 1, it's 9 minus 5 is 4. Sorry, it's kind of sloppy. Let me redo it. 7, 2, 3. What was it? 2, 5, 6. So one more time, a little cleaner. I didn't quite finish either. So again, 2, put a 1, add 8, bring 8, making that 11. So that's 11 minus 6 is 5. And then we go to the middle. We can't take 5 from 1. So we borrow, make it 6, add 8. Again, every time you borrow, it's 8. And when you're in base 8. And so that's 9 minus 5 is 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. We're done. There it is in base 8. Is that good? In base 8, it's always 8. All right, should we try one of those? Let's see. Let's try. How about 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Take away 1. 5, 6. There we go. Oh, what base, huh? Base 7. Base 7. So try that one in base 7.
Like you only have the 1, but not the 12. But you do it with a subtraction now. When you're like borrowing, only for the borrowing, for the subtraction. Okay.
So remember, when you borrow, you're borrowing 7. All right, so here we go. We can't take 6 from 1, so we borrow. So make that 2, bring over 7. That makes that 8, huh? 8 minus 6 is 2. And now, go to the middle column. Can't take 5 from 2, so we borrow. Make that 1, add 7. And that becomes 9. So 9 minus 5 is 4. And 1 minus 1 is nothing. So 42 base 7. We good?
Yeah.
It's making sense? All right. So hopefully it's making you think a little more precisely about that. Now, one more thing that's tricky about... Yeah, here, let's do this. I'm going to try a trickier one now. How about, let's do... Base haven't we done? Okay, let's do that. I'll do base... Okay, so hw3 minus 2, 6, 7, 4. Guess what base I'm going to do?
9.
Base 9. Because the highest thing you see is 8. Huh? So subtractive base 9. Got a couple zeros there. I want to make sure you're okay with that. It's going to be double borrowing. See how that goes for you. I'll just let you try it first, then I'll finish it.